I don't care. I'm going to say it. I don't care. I gotta say it. Thank you for listening. I gotta say it. Okay. So now, baby, we're ready. Okay, I wasn't going to film anything, as I always wasn't going to film anything today, but I really wasn't going to film anything today. I wasn't in the mood. Then all of a sudden, I just, you know when you just get fed up, get really fed up of things? And I just said, forget it. I have to do this, and I'm going to do it. Okay. Yeah, I'm fed up. I have to. So we're going to have a little chit-chat today, and he's going to help me out. He knows what I've been going through, and that's it. So, as you've seen the title, what are the dangers of being in a hospital or going to a hospital? Let's say they're more or less the same. No, they're kind of different because you can go for an emergency stuff and go back home on the next day, the same day, but you can end up being at a hospital, and sometimes the hospital becomes your second home, unfortunately. So as everybody knows, people who know me know that for about last 4 years, I've been going down to South America, see and to be with my father, especially my father, but I have both parents alive. Go to see my dad, who is very ill, and he is in his late stages of Alzheimer's. His health has been declining a lot. And while I was there this year, I went on this trip, and it wasn't a vacation trip. I tried to make it as cool as possible, light as possible, but sometimes you're unable to do that. So that was it. I was there to see him because he came to a certain stage now where he's very debilitated, fragile, he's very sick. It's the disease. So it was a very sad trip to me because I went there thinking that that moment I was there would be the last moments that I would see my father or to be with my father. So I'm grateful that I was able to be with him, and he's still in the hospital. When I arrived there, he was in the hospital. To the airport, I went straight to the hospital. I saw him 2 or 3 days later. He left the hospital back home, and he just stayed home for about 4 days. 4 days later, he had high fever. He ended up going back to the hospital, and that was a pretty scary moment. Excuse me. Come on, stop. If they're, shush. Yeah. Okay, so he ended up going back to the hospital 4 days later. He is there since then. It's been 22 days since my dad's at the hospital. His health is declining, of course, because he's very sick. But the dangers of you being in a hospital, because this can happen to anybody. This is with my family, but it can happen to you, to anybody, to your neighbor. Or you may know somebody who's going through the same thing. You don't want that. So, actually for me, it's very sad because he's my father. And you want the best for your parents, for your family. But in this case, my father, so it makes me very sad, depressed in a way, to see him in this state. And you just look and see that people around the hospital, the nurses, even doctors, you know, they don't know what infection he has. He doesn't know what to do. They want to do this to him. The dangers of being in a hospital is beware that people, he does not have a voice. Unfortunately, he does not have a voice. He doesn't speak anymore. He doesn't walk. He doesn't talk. He doesn't do things because of the disease. And aware of the disease, you know, it's a deadly disease and it progresses. And it takes a toll on the person, and it's a horrible disease. It is a horrible disease. Fortunately, they don't know how to cure it, but anyways, that's not the case here. So the dangers of being in a hospital is he's in a private hospital, he's in an expensive hospital, he's being treated there, he has his personal caregivers looking after him, and still he's being treated like a puppet. It's a rant. It's a rant. It's a daughter's rant. Human being, as I am, complaining. Please be aware of your loved ones when they end up going to a hospital. Please, because when you're in there, you don't know what's happening. You don't know what they're doing. Sometimes it turns to a point where it's too late. So I am fed up. I am pretty sick and tired of keeping this to myself. I am angry. I am upset. I am sad. I am furious. I personally have never been admitted to a hospital in my entire life. Only once in my entire life I was admitted to a hospital to have my son. And that was the only time, thank goodness, I have ever been to a hospital. And I hope I will never be, because it's the worst place for you to go or be in your life. Number one, the quantity of germs. Number two, some people in the hospitals just don't care. They just don't care. They treat you like a number. They treat you like a number. That's the truth. So he's a +1 in the hospital bed, and I am furious. This might turn out to be a very, very unfortunate result. Yeah. So careful, be aware, take precautions, and just be careful, because sometimes it ends up being too late. And unfortunately, I guess this is what's going to happen to my father. I am furious. The disease is growing, is getting stronger. The hospital nurses and the doctors, they're not helping it. They're just making it go faster. And when it comes to a point that there's no turning back, it's not like in the movies that the actor's going to wake up like that. When there's no turning back in real life, there's no turning back, and you know what I mean. Yeah, I'm sorry, this isn't a rant. This is a huge rant, because I am furious. I'm sad, upset. I just hope you don't have to take your loved ones, or you have to end up in a hospital, because that's the last place where you want to be in your life. That's the last place I want to be in my life. Thank you so much for watching.